about the structure of the nomination process. And here is more from our interview.
IEC is set. We are ready 100%. All our materials are intact. There was a press release yesterday for the nomination which will take place from the 14th to the 16th. On Thursday the 14th, APRC will come in between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And then Friday, you will have NRP. And on Saturday, you have independent plus any other party between 8 to 4. So far, interested Gambians, eligible Gambians have taken nomination forms. So far, APRC has taken 121 nomination forms. Independent has taken 36 nomination forms. NRP, 29 has taken nomination forms. And then PDS has taken one Saibe Jawara or Juara from Situkonding has taken nomination form for one Mr. Kijera. He collected on behalf of Mr. Kijera for the Situkonding ward. This is so far. Maybe before the 14 we'll have more. We're expecting more because I'm sure APRC will file 114. You have 114 wards plus the 2 mayoral elections in Banjul. In Banjul, you have the mayoral election too. APRC has taken. And then you have 3 independent candidates for mayoral in Banjul. In Kanifing, you have 1 APRC and 1 independent so far for the mayoral election. The nomination will take place from the 14th to the 16th between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
One issue that the IEC or other stakeholders has been emphasizing is about voter apathy. We are now talking about nomination because the day is closer. What about this issue of people, the active participation of the electorate, in this election? Because this has always been a major challenge for all the stakeholders, for people to come out en masse and vote and participate in this election.
Always local government election, always the turnout is very low. You see what happened during the presidential, the turnout was very good. National Assembly, it comes down. The local government again, either it comes below the National Assembly or it goes a little above. Unless we combine these elections. Other countries now, they combine elections. They don't do it separately. You have the presidential, National Assembly, and local government one day. You enter a polling booth, you vote twice and go away. In other countries, look at what happened in Kenya. How many? You vote for about 8 or so. This is what we should do. At least the cost will be down, and then people will come out. But if you want to separate it, presidential, National Assembly, local government, it's going to be very difficult. Although IEC conducted a vigorous voter education. It has just ended at the end of 28th of February, and NCC too has started. Maybe that will help us. This is what we are anticipating. Maybe it will help us to increase the number. But it's always local government is down.
That was the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, Alhaji Mustafa Kerol, talking about the nomination or the arrangement for the nomination being supposed to take place on the 14th, 15th, and 16th in various parts of the country.
Members of the network of ECOWAS parliamentarians against climate change and other elected officials have concluded a 2-day sub-regional synergy organized as part of efforts to strengthen commitments to the protection of the sub-region's coastal zones. Participants came up with recommendations on how to combat climate change and its effects at the end of the interface. Famara Fofuna reports.
The network of parliamentarians and local elected representatives eminently called APEL has wrapped up its 2-day meeting in Banjul. The legislative group aims to improve the environmental management of coastal and marine sites, ensuring that shareholders satisfy their social corporate responsibilities. A Senegalese parliamentarian, Siran Jai, who doubles as the Secretary General of APEL, was quick to highlight the endeavors of President Jammeh for what he hailed as the government's consistent support to the network. A renewed impetus to combat climate change challenges could be the most important milestone achieved by the convergence, according to the APEL Secretary General. Ahmed El Mustafa Senghuri of PRCM declared his organization's availability to the network at all times, even as he urged parliamentarians to intensify coastal and marine protection efforts. Racine Ken is the Senegalese country representative of the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. Ken is optimistic that the meeting marks the opening of a stronger network between lawmakers, harnessing efforts to collectively identify solutions to environmental issues.
This Banjul workshop marks the beginning of the process to start the phase 2 of PREPARE. The evaluation report of phase 1 of PREPARE and the working groups have provided the information needed to develop a comprehensive program for the phase 2 of PREPARE. IUCN will take stock of these valuable contributions in the project document in preparation in order to better support the goals and objectives of PRCM and the regional and national networks during phase 2 of PREPARE.
Neti Balde is the chairman of APPEL. Balde entreated his colleagues to encourage strong partnership and communal action to accelerate the realization of targeted goals while calling for increased local involvement.
I will depend on all of you and encourage all of you, like I said before, that we work together, exchange ideas, have discussions so we can move and forge ahead. Because the essence of having the network is not to have a chairman and vice chairman and leave it at that. The essence of the Bureau and the membership of this network is for us to be able to organize ourselves so we can achieve our objectives as stipulated in our constitution.
The Gambia is no stranger to environmental problems and the depletion of natural forest reserves. With the glaring threat of deforestation, National Assembly Speaker Abdoulaye Bojang believes urgent and persistent solutions are required to particularly prevent more damage, leading to eventual desertification.
The convergence of people here is on a parallel objective, and that parallel objective is how our environment can be saved. If we are able to succeed in working towards saving our environment, where is the boundary? Of course, unfortunately, the Gambia is one of those countries, amongst the countries that have converged here, whose environment is seriously damaged and tampered with.
As part of its plans, the lawmaking group intends to raise the capacity of its members, adding energy to the battle against coastal erosion, soil loss and environmental damage with a host of activities designed to keep the network persistently working towards its goals. Famara Fofana, GRTS.
Well, we're going to take a very short break now. When we come back, the news continues. Stay tuned.
Lucozade Energy, energizing Gambia.
Welcome back to GRTS News. Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez has succumbed to his 2-year battle with cancer. 58-year-old Chavez is described by many as a hero who supported the people of Venezuela by sharing the country's oil wealth with the poor and increasing access to education. CNN's Jim Clancy looks at the legacy of Hugo Chavez.
Venezuela's Vice President Nicolas Maduro announced a military attaché in the U.S. Embassy in Caracas had been expelled for plotting against the government.
The officer has tried to get in touch with active military men in Venezuela, first to investigate military forces, and then to propose to them to destabilize Venezuela.
The Pentagon identified the man as Air Force Colonel David Delmonico. Venezuela's foreign minister later said a second U.S. attaché was also expelled. The Pentagon would only identify that man as Devlin Costal and said he had already been in the U.S. and won't be going back to Venezuela. Washington denies the charge that any embassy officials were engaged in